Hi folks, this is Gabriella Valeria Cardosi, and this is the Clay Explorers Cup and Coaster demonstration video on hand building using forms and templates. So you can follow along with your kit or just simply enjoy this how-to video. Here are some cup and coaster examples. The kits come in 3 color combinations. There's a blue and white, green and white, red and white, and custom colors are also available in these kits. So in this video, my assistant Isabel will be using a cup and coaster kit with green and white glazes. So here's a finished coaster with a cork backing and a matching cup. After kiln firing, these stoneware cups are food and beverage safe, dishwasher, microwave, and even oven safe. The coasters can be hand washed. Getting set up to hand build. You'll need a porous work surface like a canvas mat, a wooden board or smooth cardboard, a rolling pin or thick dowel, and spacers or dowels that are approximately 1/4 inch or 1/2 centimeter thick. Level chopsticks will also work. Scissors and sticky tape, and also water and cleanup cloth, and plastic wrap or a bag for covering work. Open up your cup and coaster kit. The back label shows what you'll need at home and what's inside each kit. There are 2 glaze colors, a plastic form, a cutting tool and flat sponge, and a kiln firing pass, as kiln firing is included with the kit, an eco clay pack in light clay, and a cork sheet, illustrated instructions, and a template and form sheet. Finally, there's also a glaze design example sheet and more detailed instructions on glazing, along with some useful tips. Hand building your cup and coaster. First of all, cut out the templates and form wraps. We're just going to speed through this section a little bit. Set the templates and form wraps aside. Some of them will be reused for this project, and of course you can keep them to make additional cups and coasters. Open up your clay pack. The jute cord around the clay pack can be used for slicing through slabs of clay. There's also an information sheet on various hand building techniques with each clay pack, so keep that for future reference. Unwrap your clay and place it on a porous work surface. The paper wrapper can be kept for later for glazing. Using a rolling pin and spacers, roll out your clay to approximately 1/4 inch thick or 1/2 centimeter. Lift and rotate the clay slab to prevent the clay from sticking and also to fit the templates on. Let's speed through this part. Once you're finished rolling out your slab of clay, set aside the rolling pin and the spacers and place the cup side and bottom templates onto the clay slab. Gently roll over the templates to help them adhere a little bit to the slab. Hold the cutting tool upright and cut around the templates. Gather up remaining clay and store it in its bag to keep it soft. Peel off the templates and set aside for later. Gently remove any bits of clay along the edges of your slab. Then set the slabs aside and cover loosely with a cloth or plastic to prevent them from over drying. Wedge up the remaining clay. Add a little water and wedge or knead the clay until it is evenly soft. Add more water as needed until the clay is soft and pliable. Slam down the clay a few times and then form it into a bowl. Dampen the work surface if it is dry. Roll out the clay to fit the coaster template, approximately 1/4 inch or 1/2 centimeter thick. If you see any raised bumps of trapped air, poke a few holes in it and gently press out the air. Place the coaster template over the clay slab and gently roll over, then cut around it with a tool. Peel off the template and set aside. Gather up any remaining clay and store it in an airtight bag. With a damp finger, smooth around the edge of the coaster. Gently flip the coaster over and smooth off the other edge. Place the finished coaster between layers of cloth or sheets of paper to absorb moisture from the clay. Place a weight like a heavy book on top of the coaster to keep it flat and set aside. Place the plastic cup form upside down to wrap it. Reuse the cup side template form wrap that was used on the clay slab. Wrap the paper tightly around the plastic form and tape it into place. Do not tape the paper to the plastic. Tape the cup bottom form wrap onto the paper side. Make sure the plastic cup is able to slide out of the paper form. The paper cup should not be taped to the plastic cup. With a damp finger, gently smooth over and round off the longest length of the cup. This will be the rim of the cup. Compress the left edge of the slab to thin it out just a little bit. Gently scratch up the clay surface along the compressed edge. Then carefully turn the slab over. As on the other side, use a damp finger to gently smooth over and round off the longest length of the cup. Compress the left edge to thin it out a little. It will be at the opposite end of the first edge that was compressed. As before, gently scratch up the compressed edge. Putting the cup together, keep the plastic form inside the paper form. Gently lift the slab and wrap it snugly around the form. The longest side will be facing down. The two scratched up edges should be facing each other. If not, then scratch them up now. Add a little water along the edge and then press together gently. Gently press up and down along the seam to join. Any excess water will come out. Lightly scratch up the bottom edge of the cup. Scratch all the way around the edge of the cup bottom. Add some water to the edge. Align the cup bottom to the sides and gently press around the edge to join the slabs together. Excess water will be pushed out. Let's speed through this part a little. With a damp finger, smooth downward over the seam. Use a damp sponge to wipe over and smooth off the cup. Gently turn the cup over and use a damp finger to round off and smooth over the outside rim. Wipe over the rim with a damp sponge. Gently pry out the plastic form. The paper will stay behind. While supporting the clay cup with the other hand, gently pull out the paper form. Wiggle the paper to release it from the bottom of the clay cup. Carefully pick out any stuck bits of paper. The final step, smooth off the inside seams with a damp finger. Be gentle so the cup doesn't warp. Smooth off the inside rim. Check that all the clay seams are joined and smoothed off. Your cup and coaster need to firm up but not dry out completely before you paint on the glaze. Wrap your cup for a few hours loosely in cloth or plastic. For a day or more, wrap the cup and coaster snugly in a plastic bag or sheet and keep in a cool place. Glaze examples for inspiration. Each Clay Explorer's cup and coaster kit comes with a white glaze plus one color glaze, red, blue, green, or a custom selection. Tinting one color with white gives a range of shades and lots of design possibilities. Paint a different shade on the inside and add inside details. The coasters can be painted with other designs and shades too. Getting set up to glaze. Use a Clay Explorer's Eco Paint brush set or gather a few medium soft bristled brushes, sponge, and a cleanup cloth. You'll need 2 glazes, a water dish, and a plate to mix glazes on. Yes, that's our cat's tail. Unwrap the cup and coaster. They should feel damp and cool and can be held gently without warping. Use the paper wrapper from the clay pack or other paper to place your cup and coaster on, ready to glaze. Glazing your cup and coaster. Get your glaze materials ready. You'll need the 2 colors of glaze, a clean-up cloth, a dish of water, a sponge, and a plate for mixing the glaze colors and your brushes. Mix different amounts of white and color glaze to make a couple of lighter shades. Let's speed through the mixing. Make sure there's enough contrast between the shades. Load the brush with glaze and brush evenly across the coaster. Set the coaster aside so that the glaze can dry. Hold the cup very gently around the base. Brush a solid color or shade inside the cup starting at the bottom. Load the brush with glaze and brush smooth strokes in one direction until the cup is covered inside. Set the cup aside for the glaze to dry. Return to the coaster when the glaze has dried and apply a second layer of glaze. Mix more shades of color as needed. Brush on a third layer of glaze. Set the coaster aside. Once the glaze inside the cup has dried, brush on a second even layer, holding the cup very gently. Once the second layer has dried, add a third layer of glaze. This will ensure that there is a solid, glossy coverage inside the cup from the kiln firing. Clean the brushes between colors. Add a little water to the glazes if they start to thicken. For the outside of the cup, brush on the same color or choose a contrasting color. Avoid getting any glaze on the bottom of the cup. Check that you have enough of the color that you'd like to show for all 3 layers. If not, brush on a color that you have lots of as the bottom layer. Then use the final color for the top 2 layers. They will hide the first layer if covered fully. Paint around the cup rim too. Brush off any extra glaze, then set the cup aside while the glaze dries. Holding the coaster very gently, you can follow this pattern, or use your glazes to brush on your own design by applying the same methods that are used here. For flowers, apply a dot of glaze as the center for the petals. Load the brush with glaze and paint a petal towards the center dot. Paint 5 petals towards the dot. Then continue across the whole coaster. We'll speed through the rest of this. Apply dots around the flowers in different shades to add pattern to the blank spaces. Use the end of a brush or a Q-tip to make the dots. Set the coaster aside to dry. When the outside of the cup is dry, brush on a second layer of glaze and then a third. Let the second layer of glaze dry before brushing on the third layer. Avoid getting glaze on the bottom of the cup. If glaze does get on the bottom, it can be wiped off gently. Remember to brush glaze on the rim of the cup too. When your cup is dry after the third layer of glaze, there should be no patches of clay showing through unless intentionally left bare. Hold the cup very gently as you paint it, as even light pressure can break the cup. Glaze the outside of the cup the same way as the coaster. Use different shades or the same shades as on the coaster. Let's speed through this part. As on the coaster, use the end of a brush or a Q-tip to add dots of different shades. For translucent looking petals, apply only one layer of glaze. For opaque petals, add a second layer of glaze. The dots only need one layer. When finished, set the cup aside to dry. As a final step, clean any unwanted glaze from the edges and the bottom of the coaster. Hold the coaster carefully. Use a damp sponge to gently wipe off the glaze. As the glaze becomes damp from the sponge, it will wipe off easily. Ensure all glaze is removed from the bottom, otherwise the glaze will melt and stick to the kiln shelf during the firing. Rinse the sponge to remove glaze residue. Hold the cup very gently. With your fingers, support the cup directly behind the area that you are wiping with the sponge. Avoid applying pressure to the cup when not supported behind to prevent breaks. Continue gently wiping the glaze off the bottom until it's all removed. Double check that all the glaze has been removed from the bottom of the cup and coaster. Allow the cup and coaster to dry slowly and completely in a cool place or under a cloth. Carefully pack your pottery into the kit box. Use tissue paper to protect the pottery during transportation. Take to GVKpottery for kiln firing. After kiln firing, finishing your cup and coaster. The last step is to attach the cork backing to the coaster. You'll need a pencil or pen, scissors, and all-purpose glue or super glue. Place the coaster upside down on the cork sheet, then draw around the coaster. Mark the coaster and cork to help realign them later. Cut around the inside of the circle you have drawn so that the cork will be inset from the edge of the coaster. Realign the cork and coaster. Turn the cork backing over and glue near the edge. Adhere the coaster where the marks align. You can also sand the cup bottom with a fine grit sandpaper to make it smoother. Then give it a wash and it's ready to use. Clay Explorer's clay kits to go. These kits have all you need to create with clay right at home. Eco clay packs are available in 2-pound light stoneware, 2-pound dark stoneware, 1-pound light stoneware, and 1 pound of translucent porcelain. All the Eco Clay packs come with hand building and clay recycling instructions. Double-sided canvas boards. These are lightweight, warp-free, and super thin for easy storage. The Eco Toolkits focus on natural fibers. They are available in regular 11-piece kit, deluxe 16-piece kit, and a mini deluxe 14-piece kit. What's inside the Eco Toolkits? All kits include a canvas mat, illustrated instructions, a hemp cutting cord, cutting tools from natural fibers, textured tools of natural fibers, a sponge, also in the deluxe kit, a flat sponge, rolling pin, 2 sets of spacers, and natural cotton cloth. The Mini Deluxe Toolkit contains all of the extras found in the full-size Deluxe kit, all in a compact 6-inch or 15-centimeter set, perfect for little hands and creativity on the go. The Eco Paintbrush set focuses on natural fibers, and the brush set includes a natural cotton cloth, 5 medium soft bristle brushes of natural fibers, and a flat sponge. The color glaze kits contain mixable primary colors plus black and white. They can be brushed on bisque or unfired clay. They are bright, opaque, or translucent, and they give glossy, full coverage. The glaze kits are available in regular 11 ounce and mini 5.5 ounce. The wax resist kits include 2 brushes made with natural fibers and 4 ounces of wax emulsion and a cleanup sponge. The color paint kits include 4 primary colors plus black and white. They can be brushed on unfired or bisque fired clay, available in regular 11 ounce and mini 5.5 ounce. Video production credits. A big thank you to my assistant Isabel Teresia Cardosi and to the supervisor Percy the Cat. GVK Pottery and the Clay Connection are located at Cottage Living on Marine Drive in White Rock, British Columbia, Canada. For more information, please contact me through GVK Pottery.